Hi guys, it's that time again. Which is better? And it will be between The Bleeding by Cannibal Corpse and Breeding the Spawn by Suffocation. And before I continue, I will be leaving links in the description to check out songs by GORGUTS and even links to check out my Instagram and Twitter pages. There you get to see what songs I'm listening to as well as what my band merch collection looks like. So looking at The Bleeding by Cannibal Corpse, if you were to ask heavy metal fans about what their favourite Cannibal Corpse album is, you'll get mixed opinions. Cannibal Corpse have good albums, but there are always different opinions on which one is better. Being a fan of Cannibal Corpse myself, I've come to appreciate most of their albums. Now, before Chris Barnes left the band and the Masters of Gore came together and released this album, The Bleeding has Cannibal Corpse continuing the harsh death metal assault that they began with their first album. Rob Barrett and Jack Owen do a phenomenal job in terms of shredding on this album. And from the opening seconds of Staring Through the Eyes of the Dead to the ending slap of Experiment and Homicide, Barrett and Owen never desert their incredible guitar playing. The song Staring Through the Eyes of the Dead is the best representation of their shredding because of their relentless attack of fast riffing and a cluster of solos. No wonder it's a fan favourite. The technical riffs on Pulverized help Cannibal Corpse maintain those levels of new craftsmanship and professionalism. The two tracks that shine on this album because they show a more complex side of what these guys are capable of. Drummer Paul Mazurkiewicz makes his presence known on this album. From the high-speed double bass work to the crushing blast beats, Paul does it all. There's some great bass work on this album as well, and the bass lines on Staring Through the Eyes of the Dead are short, but they are the vast amount to the music. This album has Chris Barnes experimenting a bit with his growls while still maintaining his incredible vocal ability. Barnes is well known for his vocal performances, and The Bleeding is no exception. Just like the first three Cannibal Corpse albums, Chris's growls are still deep and forceful beside his proper use of death growls. Barnes shines with his Marvel vocal patterns. Chris's growls flow perfectly with the death metal mayhem that during every song. Every time Chris growls, it seems to fit at the right moment. Chris Barnes doesn't only adapt his death vocals on The Bleeding, he also uses some awesome vocal effects, like on the song The Pickaxe Murderers, which has Barnes exercising his high-pitched growls. This vocal form makes the song seem a bit more energetic and haunting, which is what Cannibal Corpse is all about. And then you have the song Force-Fed Broken Glass that has a vile gagging noise that appropriately fits the title. Chris Barnes didn't make a name for himself in Cannibal Corpse because of his vocals, but it's more down to the lyrics that he wrote, which pumps creativity and disturbing images into Cannibal Corpse. The lyrics Barnes wrote on The Bleeding continue to correspond with Cannibal Corpse's graphic tales. A song like Also Broken Glass is pretty self-explanatory when it comes to lyrical themes, yet writing remains clever and original. The lyrics are descriptive, messy and disturbing, and that's what Barnes had in mind in terms of his approach to the music. Regardless of how you look at this album, I think we can all agree on its significance historically. The album has been one of Cannibal Corpse's most well-known records, and many of their songs on the CD have become fan favourites. Even to this day, Staring Through the Eyes of the Dead is usually part of Cannibal Corpse's live performances. The Bleeding is also the last album to have Chris Barnes on it before he was replaced by George Fisher. Now, I've listened to this album many times over and it doesn't get boring. This album is definitely one of Cannibal Corpse's best and is one of my favourite albums out there. And it's an essential for any heavy metal fan. Now, switching gears, we're going to look at Breeding the Spawn by Suffocation. Now, looking at the production of this album, I wonder how the production on here would turn away any death metal fan. I don't understand. Maybe it's a little thin, but there's way more of a chance for the morbid nature to truly shine through with it sounding this way, in my opinion. But the other albums from this time period have way too much low end for the malevolence inherent in the music to truly shine through. This is insanely technical death metal, but not overdoing the technicality. These songs flow very well through their various valleys and peaks, but they never once lose coherency or turn into a guy forgetting to remember he's holding a guitar in his hand. They do that thing that all good technical metal does. It combines strange, lurching different rhythms into a cohesive whole, and it makes it sound like effort was placed in construction. It's ironic that I was focusing on the overly bass-driven character of the albums like this one, but when the bass is the most prominent on this album, I mean like an actual bass guitar, and not bass as if I'm gonna get in a car and just drive around with the music on full blast just to prove I'm the hardest guy around. The bass shows up in songs and it actually works in unison with the guitar. You just have to love that bass drop in the last song, as it adds a very interesting, thought-provoking type of atmosphere to the songs. And that's another plus. The album also has a very cold atmosphere to it, and the cover is very appropriate. This is the sound of that scene in Fargo where the guy throws the guy into the wood chipper. But there you have it, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought was the better album. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.